What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Sunny Chopper Trading. In today's video, we're going to be going over the markets so we know what our strategy is going into the next week. So without further ado, let's just jump right to my desktop and let's just get right into the analysis. All right, so the first thing we've got on the list is AUD. We've got on the monthly, we've got it going to a high level on the curve, which means we're starting to look for sell entries instead of buy entries. And as we drill down to the weekly time frame, you can see that we're approaching this huge supply zone on AUD. Now, because the trend is upwards on the weekly time frame, I'm going to be looking for more confirmation for sellers to be coming in on a lower time frame. For example, on say the daily time frame, I'm looking to see if there's any evidence that the sellers are starting to push back, and I can see a little bit of evidence with this giant red candle. So that's that is a trade that we can potentially go into this coming week, is AUD taking a sell order. Now the next one that I've gotten listed out is CAD. With Canadian dollar and Japanese yen, what we've got over here is just a regular range, and the thing is that we're starting to approach some heavy supply zones. Now this is just a thing to keep an eye out on. Nothing really crazy going on here other than the fact that we should probably just keep an eye out and make sure that we're just keeping an eye on it. Let's look out for a sell order also on CAD if it pushes up and we start to see evidence on a lower time frame that sellers are starting to pick up pace. The next one I've got listed is EuroCAD. Now with EuroCAD, what was happening is we're starting to move into a monthly demand zone, and things are just trending sideways on a monthly and especially a weekly time frame. As you can see, prices have just been going up and down within this range right here. That being said, there could be a good time to take a buy order if the EuroCAD is going to remain within a range. EuroCAD could definitely be an easy buy order, although with how many supply zones and demand zones are stacked up in the same range, the risk management could be a little bit hard to pull off. But nonetheless, EuroCAD is a trade to be looking for. See if there's any evidence of seller or buying strength. This last daily candle doesn't give me that good of an indicator that there's buying strength, because as you can see, the wick is really long to the buyer side, and then but the actual closing price was kind of low. Could mean that sellers were able to push off the buyers throughout the day. The next one I've got is Euro USD. Now this is the big trade that I'm looking for right now. This is the main trade that if I had to put not all my money, but if I had to put most of my money into, this is the trade that I would be going into. So the reason that being why I'm saying that is because if we look at the monthly chart, we are approaching supply zones on a monthly level that have not been tested since say 2018. And this level originates from way back since like 2014, 2015. So this is an old zone, historical levels. It's at $1.25. We're approaching a very historic level. That being said, the charts are showing immediate evidence sellers are having some power here again, which means that if there's a retracement back to a higher supply zone later down the road in this week, I am definitely going to be entering with a sell order. Now the reason why that is like I said, is because of how many supply zones Euro USD is starting to hit. The next is GBP, Great British Pound, and Australian Dollar. Nothing too crazy going on over here. We've got maybe a demand zone since 2018. I've got a pretty strong demand zone that's been keeping prices up since 2018, and we're starting to hit that price level again. Let's see what happens. Let's keep our eyes on GBPAUD. NZD USD, this one is looking like a sell order. However, since on the weekly chart there is such a huge uptrend happening right now, such a strong uptrend, I wouldn't want to necessarily go against this without seeing some evidence. But if we drill down onto the daily chart, we are starting to see a little bit of evidence that sellers are starting to come back into the game. And if they're really back into the game, whenever, like let's just say we drill down to the 4 hour, if they're really back into the game, I can go on a retracement, take a sell order somewhere whenever it retraces back up a little bit, and get back into the trade. One of the things is though, is this demand zone has not been broken yet, so I haven't really validated. This is not a valid, really a big movement enough, I guess if you want to call it. Basically, like, this supply zone has to break another demand zone for it to be like, okay, those sellers are really on some next level stuff, and they've got a lot of power that they were able to break through a whole demand zone. But right now, it doesn't seem like they've broken through a demand zone, the sellers at least. And so I'm still going to be watching for evidence. I'm going to be keeping this on my watch list, keep looking at it every other day. Moving on to USDCAD. Now, this one was like a trade. I just kind of put it in because we're getting there, but not quite there yet, but just to flag it, just to make sure that I'm looking at it. So we got USDCAD, and it's just coming down, and we're approaching this monthly zone right here since 2015, which has held the prices up so prices have been basically ranging between this 146, 145 range and 125 to like 118 range. Prices have just been bouncing back and forth in between these two ranges. As you can tell, prices, you can see, have just been bouncing up and down in between these two green boxes. And so it could be like a good range buy. If prices were to come down here, it'd be a decent probability trade if you see evidence, obviously, on a smaller time frame. The last thing I want to show is the dollar index. Now, the dollar index is clearly showing that we are in a huge monthly demand zone right here. Now this one is huge. It dates back all the way to the start of 2018. Next one after that is all the way down here, 8150, basically originating from 2014. Huge demand zone right there as well. Now we've got the supply zone up here, and we've got the demand zone up here or down here. We could start to see a rise in the dollar strength in the next upcoming months. We could see it start to rise up a little bit. We have noticed that the dollar strength has been decreasing. However, we are in a demand zone. And if we look on the weekly, we are starting to see a little bit of buyer activity. On the daily, we're definitely seeing some buyer activity here. But the daily chart is just a little bit too choppy, too noisy for me to actually say anything from. So I'd rather stick to the monthly or the weekly charts. Yeah, that's basically the update for this week. I would really keep an eye out on Euro USD. I'd really keep an eye out on NZD USD as well, and just keep a general eye out on GBPAUD. And this week should be pretty much kind of solid. Nothing really too crazy going on. Euro USD, obviously, and we got NZD USD setting up for two pretty good trades. You always want to make sure that you're using some kind of risk management. Don't over leverage your account. Don't go out there being absolutely nuts and just freaking going out of your mind, over leveraging your account. That is the easiest way to just absolutely blow your account. You're not gonna get anywhere. I've gotta say this like a million times, because everyone kind of messes it up in the beginning. You're not going to become a millionaire overnight or even in the next year, and that's just a harsh reality, especially if you're starting with, say, like $1,000, $2,000 over the capital. The main goal for you should not be to become a millionaire. The main goal for you should be to consistently make returns. That's it. Consistently make, every month, say you have a goal, you want to make 10% each and every month. That's what you should be hitting. Make sure your risk management is on point. Make sure your wins are bigger than your losses on average. Make sure that you're sticking to your strategy. Make sure that you have a process and a system to be trading in the first place. How to remove those emotions when the emotions are really killing you and they're telling you, hey, go do this, go do that, whatever, right? So that's the main thing. That being said, though, that is my strategy for this week. I'm looking for Euro USD sell, looking for the dollar to get stronger. That is pretty much it. If you gain some value out of this, drop a like, drop a comment on which pair you think is going to be your pair for this week. Yeah, this is Sunny Chopper Trading. Peace.